Indie Horror Junkies! Indie Horror Junkies!
Indie Horror Junkie!
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 We're a panic attack!
Indie Horror Junkies!
Indie Horror Junkies!
Indie Horror Junkies! Indie Horror Junkies!
It's the Indie Horror Junkie Podcast, your source for anything and everything indie horror. Here's your host, Otis B. Dreads.
All right, here we go. It is Wednesday. It is 8 o'clock. I have my days are all messed up this past week. And it is time for the Indie Horror Junkie Podcast. And we have such a really good show tonight. It is the interview that we're going to show with the one and only Miss Linnea Quigley. It is, though, a pre-recorded because of scheduling differences. We would have loved to have had her live to talk with all of our junkies, but we know how that goes. So this is pre-recorded. Keep that in mind. Hey, you can always chat with us. We'll be here. I mean, what do we, chop liver? I know Linnea is a big name.
I was just going to say that.
No, I'm not in the bathroom. I had somebody ask me if I was in the bathroom. No, it's a very tiny house. Still down here in Florida. Good time. I wrapped up my shoot. It was an awesome time. We got I guess we'll do some housekeeping. We have the new issue coming out, which I still believe I have a pic there.
Look at that. How beautiful.
That is just awesome. And this is a Peter Anthony. Is he directing this?
I don't think he's directing. I think he's one of the producers, but I know he is also playing a role in the movie too.
I did see a picture of that. Yes, the Death of Snow White. But look at that, issue 11, and coming out on the 13th of September.
And it's available for pre-order right now.
Right now, and how many people, if they pre-order, get a little something special?
Oh yeah. We're running a little, kind of like a little contest, not a contest because you don't have to win it. It's just you have to pre-order it. But basically what we're doing is to commemorate the first time we're having an issue available for pre-order. What we're doing is everybody who pre-orders a copy, that means they order their copy online via the Indie Horror Junkie page prior to the release date. We're going to randomly select 5 people of those pre-order lists, and those 5 people are going to get a little something extra in their envelope when they get their magazine.
Oh yeah, everybody likes surprises. Everybody likes free little swag. So hey, start pre-ordering right now. Get her done. Get her done. What else do we got? You're going to be finishing the Turning here. Yep. What, next weekend? Had some problems with rain and the hurricane that came through. So
little old hurricane, yeah. Yeah, little old hurricane came through. We got to film one day, then we had to postpone our second day, and we even had to cut the one day short because people didn't want to be on the road when this thing was going to hit. So we ended up postponing it. It was supposed to get scheduled for next weekend, but we ended up having to push it back to November. So November is when we're going to be finishing it up, and we're really excited about it. We've got a great cast that so excited about. What we saw from these people and the emotion they were giving and everything else was amazing. So I am so looking forward to working with them in November to get that done. Then that'll be added to the Nightmare Collection Volume 3, and then it'll be out, and we're really excited about it.
Man, that's awesome. I can't wait to see that. Who wouldn't want, a new zombie movie? These dogs right now are just killing me right here. So I think I'm a little crazy from the heat. It was hotter than hell today. But all right. What else do we have going
Film
on?
festival.
Oh, the film festival, of course. Submissions open. Get your short, get your
Feature.
full-length feature in there. As I say this pretty much every week, we talk about the festival. If you notice our little video before the actual intro, that gives you an idea of, how many eyes. Of course, it's at MegaCon. 250 plus thousand people. There's a good chance somebody's going to see your film if you get it into us, and it gets put in the film fest. So get them in there. There's a lot of good ones. I need to catch up in such a busy week here lately. I was caught up. I haven't checked here lately to see how many more have come in, but so far a lot of great entries. Get your entry in, short, full length. Hey, if anything, even if you don't win, I've been saying this, even if, you don't get, the really cool Indie Horror Junkie trophy. But even if you don't get to set that on your mantle, you're going to get a lot of eyes on your project. And that's really the big goal here, I guess, as always with Indie Horror Junkie, getting eyes on these smaller productions that aren't seeing the light of day too much. And that's where we're at. So get your submissions in over there. You can go down there to indiehorrorjunkie.com. There's a Film Fest tab up there. It's all pretty self-explanatory to submit. Gmail, YouTube, all of these good links down here.
Absolutely.
It's all good information.
I see Cindy's chiming in there. Hello, Cindy. But yeah, also as far as the Film Fest goes, the regular deadline is actually the end of this month, so it's just a couple weeks away. So you definitely want to try and get it into us before the prices go up. But we've already got some great films that have already been submitted, and we're real excited about it.
Absolutely. And what else do we have going? Well, you already mentioned the Nightmare Collection.
Yes, I did.
And I would like to mention this because we haven't mentioned it on a couple shows. Look at these awesome T-shirts.
Look at that.
Look at these awesome T-shirts. And you can get your very own and be a walking billboard for the Junkies.
Absolutely.
You, Carl.
That's Asylum Amy there modeling for. We have the one-sided one, and then we also have the two-sided one, so you can get those online. You can get the tumblers. We have enamel pins. We've got all kinds of stuff that'll help you spread the word of the Indie Horror Junkie to the masses. So go out there and support, and we'd love to have you.
Absolutely. What else do we have? Do we have anything else before we can roll this interview? Anything else that you want to mention? Am I forgetting anything?
Well, no, you're not forgetting anything. That's pretty much everything that we've covered the last couple of weeks. What we do want to let you know is that what we're about to show you with Linnea, the whole reason behind this conversation with her is because she's getting ready to do something very, very special. We're all big fans of the classic 80s zombie film Return of the Living Dead. And as we know, Linnea was a part of that, and she had an iconic character. She played a girl named Trash. And with that, she is actually putting together a follow-up. I'm really not sure if it's a direct sequel or a flashback or a remake or reboot or something like that. I'm not quite sure. They're kind of keeping things a little hush-hush, but I will tell you that there is a full synopsis in the Indie Horror Junkie magazine that you can find out all about it. But regardless to say, She's starting up an Indiegogo. They're bringing a lot of the original cast members back. Even the guy who did the actual original score for the movie is coming back to score this one as well. And it's supposed to take place in the Return of the Living Dead universe. So just as far as I'm concerned, take my money right now. So
absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm just real excited about it for her. So we chatted a little bit about that and some other things. So definitely tune in here. And when that Indiegogo goes live, if it hasn't already, definitely try to help her bring that to life, because that would just be so cool. I'm real excited about it.
Yeah, it would. Trash was a very iconic character, especially for young teenage boys.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I was one of them.
yeah, there's one of them. Right. So I guess without further ado, let's check this out. Once again, this is not live, but we'll be in the chat. You can chat with us, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Linnea Quigley.
Most of the talking, so
here we go. It is this is a very special interview that we're gonna have. Of course, Miss Linnea Quigley has joined the Junkies to talk about Trash's Revenge. Before we get started, though, I just want to say, I know I just said this before we started recording, but it's an absolute pleasure to be able to speak with you. You were on a list of people that I like to speak with, my bucket list. You were definitely one of them. Bill Moseley was one, got him out of the way. So I just wanted to start by saying it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you for taking the time out to speak with us, Linnea.
Oh, yes. I'm glad I had the time.
I know you're quite busy. And speaking of being quite busy, let's get right into Trash's Revenge. As you mentioned earlier, Rick, it is in the latest issue of the Indie Horror Junkie magazine. There's a 2-3 page spread on Trash's Revenge. But now we're going to hear it right from Linnea. Tell us about all that you can, anyway. We like exclusives here. So, but tell us what you can.
Well, first off, it's not a sequel or anything like that. It's a standalone project, and it's really interesting because one of my favorite films is the one where the silent movie star, Sunset Boulevard, Lord Desmond wants to be famous, and she thinks she's famous, but they've kind of all disbanded and they aren't with her anymore, the film community. So she thinks that if she does something, because she has 3 original canisters in her basement, and you can imagine the gore and the horrific things that happen when she opens these canisters just to get publicity, because she's vain, she's obsessed, and she wants fame.
Kind of like a zombie version of Maxine, right?
Yes, exactly. I haven't seen Maxine yet, but I will.
No spoilers.
No spoilers yet.
No.
So how did this first start? I mean, where did this idea come from? How did the wheels get turning, and how did Dragon Studios get involved? And
well, they got involved first. Dragonflix Studios got involved first. They wrote it. I think it's been on the works for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And then they contacted me. I've known them for, oh my God, before they were Dragonflix. So I've known them for 40 years or something like that. It's crazy. And they said, let's do something. And I said, this sounds great, because like I said, Sunset Boulevard is one of my favorite films.
How much input did you have on the script?
None. They wrote it before I'm sure I'll have some, feedback, when we get on the set and stuff like that. But I'm producing it also, along with Beverly Hartley or Beverly Randolph.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
Yeah. And she's in it.
Oh, she is. Okay. I see that you have a lot of returning actors and actresses as well. How'd that come about?
Well, we thought, why don't we see how many of the people from Return of the Living Dead could get in it? And, Tom signed on, John Philbin, Miguel Nunez, and it was like, wow, this is going to be really interesting. And even the paramedic, Drew.
Oh, nice. I even saw that you got the guy who did the score, too, the original guy who did the score.
Oh,
Yeah.
no way.
Yes, we did. So that's really cool.
Hide the enchiladas.
The what? Oh, yes, yes.
So what? I mean, you're staying busy. What else? Are you working on anything else outside of Trash's Revenge?
Well, I've got a couple things on the burner right now. One is in Budapest, and it just depends if they get the money. Isn't that a current theme? If they get the money. I know Michael Berryman just filmed with them, and they wanted to see how that went, and then hopefully I'll be next to go over there.
Now,
and also, this is taking a lot of my time right now.
Yeah,
Producing this, and Return of the Living Dead also is got their own website now. I don't know the name of it because it's like brand new, but we're doing it right now. Beverly is actually doing it.
Wow.
nice.
Beverly is very talented.
Yeah, and it's smart too, because it just goes back to that fan base, and that's something that's really needed as a tool to connect with the fans in addition to social media, because not everybody does social media, but that doesn't mean that they don't want to hop online and have a different way to be able to stay in touch and see what's going on with you guys.
That's true. That's really true. And
No, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I was gonna talk about the Indiegogo. I know has that resolved their issue yet? I know
think
there was
so.
a little issue with that.
I don't think it has yet, because for some reason, Living Dead Media thinks they own the rights or something, and it's just been like they keep like pulling the plug on it. But that's why we are getting our own website to regain our rights.
Huh?
Yeah.
What a crazy game.
Do you have any time frame as to when they're hoping to start rolling cameras on this?
Well, it's going to be probably with the stall right now next year, but we want to have it out for the 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
So, we have to like film like crazy.
When is the
And we're
40th
gonna
anniversary
film
exactly?
We're filming in the UK, in Los Angeles,
Oh, wow.
and maybe Romania, which would be really fun. I've never been there.
Oh, wow. If you film in Romania, you got to get Denise Duff involved too. She films there all the time.
Does she
Oh, that's
really?
great.
Absolutely,
Yeah, we
the
just saw her
subspecies,
at the base screams. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. We could get her involved. I
I
like
would love to see the two of you work together.
Oh, yeah. That would be amazing.
I
That would
think
be awesome.
didn't we work together in Trophy Heads? But we didn't like work on the same day or something. I think she did.
I think
I'm
you're
almost-
right there. Yeah.
So on the same project, but you didn't have any scenes together.
We didn't have any scenes together. That was the bad part.
Yeah.
I
She
would love to
films
see
that.
the two of you together. I think that'd be really rad.
Yeah. She does that subspecies series. They just did part 5. Ted Nicolau is the writer director of that. And they filmed, I think, the bulk, if not most all of it in Romania.
Rick can introduce you to him.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
That
I
would be
love
awesome.
that.
I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Now-
So how's Florida?
Oh, Florida's hot.
Hot
Hot
and
and rainy.
humid and rainy and hot.
And hurricanes, maybe, and maybe not. And I
We
know.
haven't had anything lately. We had a couple like semi-tropical storms, and there've been a lot of little
Yeah, there's a
things.
storm that came through last week and kind of went through Texas and through
Right.
Oh, I saw
Louisiana,
that.
but
Yes.
we got some tropical storms from it, nothing bad, but some of them got
It's been really hot here too, and the fires have been pretty
Yeah.
close. A little
My
too
daughter-
close for comfort.
My daughter lives in California, and she told me that there was a fire that was about 20 minutes from her home that
Where
broke
does
out.
she live? I mean, like what area?
She lives in, it's called River Crossing, I think is what it is. She's about 5 hours outside of LA.
Okay, so she's further than me. Yeah, I don't know where that is. There's so many fires here. I'm sure somebody's setting them. I just have that feeling because there's too many, and it's happening when there's not lightning or it's weird. It's just really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I got a question for you. There's a lot of young aspiring actors and filmmakers and you know the whole list of people, but I'm speaking mainly of actors, young actors that want to get into it on a serious level. And I myself, being 52, am just started this year and doing some acting. No formal training, but I just decided I wanted to do it. What's the best piece of advice that you could give to young and old aspiring actors?
Do extra work because you learn so much. That's my big thing. It's like if you're an extra, you can like watch what's going on, kind of like watch the actors, make contacts, and you just learn so much. It's better than an acting class a lot of times.
Did you have any formal acting yourself?
I did. I went to Charles Conrad School, and I learned a lot there. It was like the kind of acting he taught was like you're in the moment type stuff, you know, like going off the other actor. And that was really important to me because I was a girl from Iowa that had no clue at all. And then I did extra work, but I learned a lot from the extra work.
Yeah, because you learn the lingo and the verbiage on set. You get to learn whose job is what. And when somebody says something, like there's a reason they're saying it. Like it just gives you a clue of that environment and how to tune into it. I completely agree with that. And I believe in taking classes as well, too. There's so much value to that. Like you said, being present, just being and doing and being in the moment with your scene partner and being able to feed off of them and their energy, like having that kind of the ability to do that in a workshop setting with other actors. There's so much value to that because it almost becomes like a muscle memory when you're on set. You know how to respond and react because you've already put yourself in that situation. And at this point, you've got a boom here and lights here and a camera there. And it's like, you better know what's going on. So
I know. And then you have the clapboard up, and you're like, okay. Yes.
Yeah, my theory has been, and my thinking has been, I want to wear as many hats as possible in a film production setting. I want to be, I want to work as a PA. I want to help behind the cameras as much as I can. Not even for resume purposes, but to learn, just like you said, to see as being an extra, you can see everything that's going on, and to help out, it does. Like Amy said, you learn the lingo, you see firsthand what's going on, and I think that's extremely important. And networking with people. I throw my name out there to any director with a new project, any casting calls. If I feel I can hit it, I'm hustling. I'm trying to get, as much, work as I possibly can. And you apparently have done something right because you have quite a long resume.
Yes, but I started when I was 16 or 17. I think I was 17 doing extra work. So, you're just starting. So yours will get long too.
Yeah.
Now, did you gravitate towards horror? Was that something that you wanted to do, or did it just kind of come your way and then it happened and then it took off?
It was something that I loved, but I must have had it on my mind because it
manifested it.
I manifested it it seemed like they were doing a lot of the late 70s, early 80s horror films then. Like there were all these films about, kids smoking or having sex and then getting killed. And so I guess I could scream, I could run.
It was fun.
I would do something topless, so I was like the perfect person. Whereas the other girls were like, well, we're not going to do that, and I said, I will. Yeah.
Well, the 80s were to me, it's even today, the 80s were the best year for horror, and some of my favorite movies. I mean, that'll never be topped. I mean, that was the golden age of horror movies, as far as I'm concerned.
And so many projects that we do, or even, that I work on, like, we're always trying to like pull in that 80s horror undertone and like give a little nod to it, show respect, because that is why we love horror and make horror films, because that's what we grew up on is those 70s and 80s horror flicks. There's just something magical about them that's nostalgic and makes you just remember that time that was so simple versus the cookie cutter regurgitated films that you see over and over and over again. Now it seems like there's so many of us that just want to go back to the simplicity and the honesty of all the practical special effects and just the honest storytelling that was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was like just say Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They didn't have a bunch of money, and they didn't have any star names or anything.
Anybody was ever going to see it.
Exactly, but it's like such a great film.
Yep,
such a great film. I don't know if you qualify that for that's late 70s, early 80s. I'd say
late 70s. Yeah, but
most of us our favorite, like that's the first thing you think of.
For sure. Absolutely. I mean, think about how many remakes and stuff and sequels there have been to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and still to this day, the original is what holds the candle.
Oh, and those guys are still going to conventions, and people just love seeing them. I actually had the pleasure to work with John Dugan in 2022 on a project that we did. He came down here to Florida, and we just he's the biggest sweetheart. We hit it off. We talk. If he's in town, I go pick him up from the airport and take him to his Airbnb. And Ed Neal, he's great. Those guys are just so
funny.
He is funny.
He is. I got to do a scene with him in a movie.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was so fun. It was so fun. He is great.
I think there's just a lot of respect for that era and those actors and those filmmakers, and someone like myself, like they're classics for me. And any chance I get to watch them or work with them, for God's sakes, it's like, this is so cool.
It is. Yeah. It is. And that film I did with Ed is on, I think it's on Tubi, called The Best Laid Plans.
Oh, I gotta check it out. The Best Little Plan.
Yeah, but we had a really long scene. But, here we were filming, guerrilla filming. And this guy got mad that we were filming. It was like 1 a.m. or something. And he kicked us out of there. And, we had this really long, funny scene, and it got cut a lot, unfortunately, because of that jerk.
Yeah. That's the essence of indie filmmaking. I mean, my very first feature film that I ever made when I was in my, late 20s, I got Tom Savini involved. He was in front of the camera. He did special effects, and I was also working with Brink Stevens in that film as well. And I've known Brink now for 20 plus years, and we've shot 2 or 3 films together. So she's an absolute doll. I love Brink to death.
She is. She really is. She's I used to get mad when people would call me Trooper, but she is a trooper.
She is. How many films have you made with her?
I haven't counted, but I would say probably 8. She's going to be in the we're doing, after Trash's Revenge, Cooking with Linnea, and she's going to be in that.
Oh, nice. Is that part of that Rocky Horror Cooking?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
I definitely want to learn more about that as well.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to promote that.
That's going to be fun. And this one that I'm doing, Trash's Revenge, is got singing and dancing and all kinds of stuff. It'll be really interesting.
Are you singing?
So borderline
No,
music?
I'm not singing, unfortunately.
I'm gonna write it in.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they're gonna like lip sync most of the people. They'll have like professional singers because the people that we're getting aren't professional singers.
I gotcha.
But they're gonna have to dance a little.
I like that.
There you go.
I know.
Hey,
Oh my God.
You did some dancing in the original Return of the Living Dead on the
I
tombstones, right?
did a little dancing in that. Yes, a little two-step. Right.
What were
I
you going to
did.
ask, Otis?
I was going to ask about conventions were brought up. Are you on the convention circuit? And where can people meet you and hang out?
Okay, I go to New Jersey, the New Jersey Horror Con next, which
Nice.
is the first part of August. Then I go
That's
to
always a big one.
the what?
That's a big one.
That is a big one. And then I have one in Massachusetts, then one in Arizona, one in New Mexico. I get to go to Manchester, England. So I've got like quite a few lined up.
Yeah, you're making your rounds. That's fantastic.
I had a couple weeks off. I'm like, yes. So
Well,
I
those
can
are long
the
days.
dog.
When you're sitting and signing. I mean, it really is for the fans, and it's such a cool way to connect with the actors that we love. But that's a long day. It's a long weekend. Sometimes it's 2-3 days, and it takes a toll. But as far as connecting with the fans, there's no better way.
That's very true. You get to hear their stories and meet them, and it's really fun. It's really fun.
Yeah, I love.
I would say I like the 2-day ones. They're starting to know that Sundays aren't great days.
Right.
Sundays die off anyways. Everybody's packing up halfway through.
Oh, I know. So they're making them, Friday and Saturdays a lot, which I really appreciate because you're like, oh my God, the third day you're like exhausted from traveling and talking. And
I got a question for you.
I went to a con not that long ago, and my wife met Kane Hodder, and we actually did it on a Sunday because all the lines were so
long,
so short. Because Sunday everybody's done and came in. They may have a 1-day pass for Friday or Saturday, and they come in. They're just there to meet celebrities. Sunday, hardly anybody. Went right through.
So that's the way to do it. Either Friday night because people are getting off work, or Sundays. Yes.
Yeah, because Saturday is usually the crazy day. But I do have a question for you.
Yes.
One of the things that I've noticed, and I've talked to a lot of people about it, as far as their films, when they have those cult films like Return of the Living Dead goes, when you've made your appearances at some of the festivals, a lot of times people or fans or whatever it is will bring the stars, like something they made or something unique or whatever it is that that they made for that film. What is the craziest or most unique item that you've ever received from a fan?
Oh boy. I was thinking that the other day and I thought of what it was and now I can't remember, but people tattooing themselves with like images is like one of the weirdest things for me.
No.
For real.
But people have like done like beautiful, huge paintings and not on Return of the Living Dead, but somebody made a nipple like kind of like artwork thing that was really cute with the lipstick in it. There's so many things. It's crazy that they bring.
That's to me is the imagination that some people do, and obviously it stems from their love of you and that film or whatever it is that got them to create that. Because sometimes you hear the coolest, craziest things that they've made. So that's amazing.
Yes.
Very cool.
Amy, do you have anything you want to ask? I know that we're right around a 20-30 minute time frame that we have. Do you have anything that you would like to add as we wind down?
So within the horror genre, what was your most memorable film that you did? I think we probably all know the answer to this, but maybe we don't, because you've had a lot of experiences. And what was it about it that made it so special to you?
I think Return of the Living Dead, because physically and mentally it was very hard to do with the rain machines being freezing, being buried in mud, being painted white, and having it not come out in the shower because it was like waterproof against the rain. And then seeing the reaction of people and seeing the music they put in it. It was just like it was very special to me.
Very cool.
Yeah, let me ask you about this.
I was saying, I
sorry.
love that you have the artist who was the original, who did the original score coming in on
Yes.
this project that you have. So if you love the music and you get to revisit that, I think that's really special all in itself.
Yes.
So with regards to that, piggybacking off of what Amy just said there, a lot of times you'll hear from people where they talk about when they made this movie, they had no idea that while they were doing it, that it was going to become the cult phenomenon that it was. Did you guys have that sense when you were making that you were making something really cool? Or did you think this is just going to be a flash in the pan kind of thing and on to the next project?
Oh, we thought it was a flash in the pan. We didn't know if anybody would see it, if it was making any sense. We had the producers like saying, come on, you've got to, get it done now. And, you're running out of money. And we didn't know if we, did something that was totally awful. We didn't know. We never
awesome.
thought it was going to be brilliant, which it was.
Now people are still watching it. New generations are watching it and loving it.
I know. We thought it was great. Yes. Which is great. That's why it's one of my favorites too.
Very cool. Well, we thank you very much for taking the time out for us. Is there any particular link? I know you said there's a new link going up for Return of the Living Dead, but you're not sure of what it is yet.
I'm going to put it on my website, the Linnea-Quigley.com. That's my website. And I'm going to put the link on there as soon as I get it.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect.
And then like I said, buy from us.
Absolutely. And I'm going to send you a copy, a PDF version, a digital version of the latest issue. So you'll see the write-up that I did. I'll send that to your email. So you look for an email from me with that and you'll have that. So.
Oh, great. I am so happy. And stay cool down there.
Oh,
absolutely. You too as well. Stay out of the fires, okay?
I will. All
right. Thanks, Linnea. You take care.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Bye-bye now.
All right.
How cool was that?
That was awesome.
Yeah, just cross that off your bucket list there, Otis.
I know. I got certain actors and actresses that I would like to chat with. She was certainly one of them. I did get to meet Bill Moseley. He's another one I can chalk off. Yeah, it was really, really awesome. She's such a cool lady,
Yeah.
I don't know. As a matter of fact, Mrs. Dreads had mentioned she was in the other room, and I can't remember Night of the Demons we were watching, and which she's in, and my Mrs. Dreads hears Linnea talking, and she's like, "Is that Linnea?" You could tell by her voice. I don't know what it was, but just certain the way she, presents herself, talks. Yeah, it was awesome, and we'll see who else I can mark off my bucket list.
We'll start working on it for sure. And I mean, the big thing for me, the reason she's definitely one of those for me is because my all-time favorite decade for horror movies was the 80s. I mean, to me, I don't think they'll ever be able to redo the feelings and everything else they got in those movies. And some of those movies are complete classics, like Return of the Living Dead, that just go on and on and on. So, I mean, that was my decade. I mean, those were all the best horror. I've got a whole section back there that does just out of reach of just 80s horror movies and stuff. So, I mean, that was my decade.
Agrees with you. Sloan agrees with you. 80s horror, he loves it. Welcome, Kelsey.
Hello, Kelsey.
And we have Mr. Dylan Intriago.
Dylan, sir, how are you?
Yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed that because it was really cool. I mean, it's still kind of surreal to me. I guess that's why I just sit there like,
yeah,
like a freaking creeper or something. But you know, when you don't think, I guess I never did. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go talk to trash someday. Since that, and then yet here I am. You never know what you're gonna find on this podcast. I'm telling you.
I mean, we've had some amazing people, and we try to obviously spread the spectrum. In other words, we don't just talk to actors and actresses. We've talked to producers, distributors, directors, artists, authors. Exactly. We try to give everybody anything and everything out there within the indie horror realm, and try to also cater to our filmmaker friends. We have so many of them, so they can get some interesting information and come on and ask questions and stuff and learn a little bit. So we want this podcast to not just be engaging and fun. We want it to be informative. We want it to be helpful, so people can go back and look at some of the past episodes to answer questions they might have or things like that. So that's what I love about this thing. It gives us the opportunity and the forum to bring a lot of stuff to the table that not only will people like, but that could be helpful to people as well.
That's right. You get educated.
Yeah, absolutely. Education is the best.
Education is the best. And I have learned a lot. So if, you guys haven't learned a lot from the filmmakers, the producers, the directors, the artists, the authors, everything. Mm-hmm. If you haven't learned anything, you are not paying attention.
As a matter of fact, I think I sent you. I'm not sure if I sent you a pictures, but one of the people who just chimed in here on the chat, Dean Blackwelder, a friend of mine right here, he creates those barrels that they have from Return of the Living Dead, and they are so amazing looking. He creates them for people. Yes. All they have to do is, go contact him. They can order one themselves. He's got one that he's created for me that I'm picking up on Tuesday that I really don't need, but I have to have to put it back in my collection over here. And they are so cool looking. And they're just looking at it reminds me of that movie and the memories I had of that movie, from the music to the action to the Tarman to Linnea to everything else. It was such a great experience, and I can't wait to put that barrel right back here in my little corner right here.
Yeah, you did send me a picture, and they are really cool. Yeah, I mean, it's a really cool replica. Something any true horror fan would love sitting in the corner of their living room.
and I plan on bringing it with me to the Indie Horror Junkie Film Fest at MegaCon to have sitting over there. So, but there he is right there. If you want, reach out to Dean Blackwelder, and he can make you one all for yourself.
That's right. I may once I get into my house, I may need some new home decor, so I may have to hit him up.
Yeah, but the new issue, the Snow White issue, we've got that's probably going to be our biggest issue. We've got some great films that we're going to be talking about there, including The Death of Snow White. So that, like I said, it goes out on September 13th. You can pre-order your copy now. I'm really excited about us trying to expand the magazine and make them bigger. And we're getting films from all over the world. Like Indie Horror Junkie is also doing a lot of what do you call it? What's the term that I'm thinking of? Where you put a product placement in some of these films. I got a picture from my friend Carlo, who's making a fan film for Critters. Remember Critters?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's making a fan film called Krites. I think they probably just finished filming, but they're doing that in London. I sent him an Indie Horror Junkie magazine, and he's got a scene where they're looking through the magazine in there. And I've got a few people that are doing stuff like that. So it's really cool.
Well, that's awesome. And my first day on set, I had to ask, like, hey, look, I got this nifty little tattoo here. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of a vagabond here living on the streets. Does this guy know about Indie Horror Junkie?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to put latex? Nope. Leave the tattoo. So may have had a shot in it. I don't know, but a little shameless promotion. So there's some product placement there.
There you go. Love it. I mean, that's a beautiful tattoo. I can't imagine how much pain, but I guess for you enjoy that, right? I mean, because obviously you've got quite a few. So I think you've been to that.
I love me some tattoo therapy. Absolutely. Again, don't forget the Film Fest the Indie Horror Junkie Film Fest coming back to MegaCon 2025, February. Do you have the exact days by
I
chance?
think it's the weekend of February 6th. It's the first weekend
That's
in
what I
February.
was thinking.
Yeah.
Yes, the Orlando Convention Center, I believe is what it's called. Yeah.
It's the
Great.
Orange County Convention Center.
Orange County Convention Center. In Orlando.
In Orlando.
It was a great time last year or earlier this year. And there was a lot of eyes. We had to tell people, all right, we're at our limit with seats. Yep. That's how many eyes are getting on these projects, small and the shorts and the features. So it's a win-win situation, really, for any filmmakers that want to enter their film in. Hey, if you don't get, again, one of them cool little Indie Horror Junkie trophies, you got a lot of eyes on your project. You may have some more, support in your future endeavors because they like this. So, again, it's a win-win.
Not just that, but we also had celebrity guests that were coming by. Remember, the Soska sisters actually came by, hung out with us, took pictures and everything. The guy, the film that won the feature film, Purgatory Jack, the star Tim Rosen, who is a very well known guy. He plays Doc Holliday in the Winona Earp series. He came by, took pictures, hung out with everybody, chatted up everybody. So it's not just that you're going to come and you're going to get to view some great films. You're going to get some swag. You're going to get to meet the junkies, but you're also going to run into some celebrity guests and have a good time overall. I mean, it's basically a celebration of indie horror, and we like to bring everything we can to the table to make sure that you have a good time.
That's right, man. We're bringing the big guns. And,
that's right.
It was big this past year, earlier this year, and I anticipated even better this coming 2025. So, if you're not a filmmaker, just at least mark that shit on your calendar so you know to take off work in February 2025. Make your plans, book your hotel, do whatever you gotta do. If you're a filmmaker, get your stuff to us.
Absolutely.
Get it in the film fest. If you need that promotion, you need some extra promotion, whether it be coming on and talking to us or getting something, a little write-up in one of the future issues. We have our Gmail down there, indiehorrorjunkie@gmail.com. Shoot us a email. Rick, you're always busy. I'm busy. So be a little patient when it comes to, responding because, we're some busy guys, but we will respond. So if you, whatever you need, whatever promotion, as you said it numerous times, Rick, we're here for you, the filmmakers, the fans, because I have been turned on to so many new movies that I had never heard of and have, gotten a few, more favorites to add to my list. So, we're here for you guys. And so promote away. That's why we're here.
Exactly. I mean, I didn't have a lot of that stuff when I was in the early stages of my being a filmmaker, where I had a place or a brand to go to like Indie Horror Junkie that gave me a chance to get my little film into a magazine or on a podcast or brought into a film festival, things like that. So we like bringing all those resources to the table for all these filmmakers because they're not getting a lot of love from the big magazines or social media accounts and things like that. So whatever we can do to spread the love, to spread the attention, to shine a light on the projects and stuff that they're out there busting their butts on, we're here for you. So if you've got something brewing, you got something coming up, or you're in production or whatever, shoot us a line. Tell us about it. Send us some pictures. Let us know the details, and we'll do whatever we can to help you get the word out there so we can get people looking at you.
That's right. Again, even if it's just coming on and chatting with us about your project, we got numerous ways to promote your stuff.
Absolutely.
Man, if you guys see, we have Patricia has joined us. Chaos has joined us. So if you guys kind of joined a little late, you may have missed our little talk with Miss Linnea Quigley, but fear not, fellow junkies. We have you covered. As soon as this broadcast ends streaming, it'll be right there on our YouTube, Indie Horror Junkie podcast. Yeah.
Podcast. Yes, a podcast.
The podcast was in there. Yes, Indie Horror Junkie podcast over there on YouTube. There it goes, right down the bottom of the screen. So you can go see it there because it was a really, really cool talk. I mean, we went from indie horror and trash to the weather and wildfires. I mean, we were kind of all over the place, but it was good. It was a awesome conversation. So
if you just go over to indiehorrorjunkie.com, we've got hot links directly to the film fest, directly to the podcast, directly to the magazines where you can make your orders, directly to the merch, whatever you want to do. It's one-stop shopping. Just head over to indiehorrorjunkie.com and it's there. And we're happy to keep expanding as you give us stuff to expand too. So bring it on.
That's right. Bring it on. Oh, well, and don't forget, we have the Indie Horror Junkie hookup, exclusive Indie Horror Junkie film. So,
including The Clock, which is going to be on streaming services in October, Nightmare Collection Volume 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to be bringing more original horror as well to the table to help expand our Indie Horror Junkie universe. So buckle up, Buttercup.
Buckle up, Buttercup. Molly said, get your fix. That's right. There's no better place. I will toot my own horn and Indie Junkie horn. There is no better place to get the lowdown on the indie horror. There just isn't. I'm sorry. Tell me I'm wrong. Email us. Tell me I'm wrong. Give me someplace else. It's giving you this much indie horror.
That's right. That's all we're about. All right. So next week we have the Mahal brothers coming up. Now they're a new brothers that have been producing films for quite a while now. They produce some really high quality, high end horror films. And really excited to have them on board, not just because to find out about the films that they're doing, but also their distribution strategies, their funding sources, and stuff like that, how they go about getting their films made. They're basically a machine, and they do it well. And I'm so excited to talk about it and enlighten everybody about it. So make sure that you tune in next week. If you've got a project coming up that you want to start a Kickstarter on or an Indiegogo or anything like that, these are the guys to talk to because these guys are getting it done, and then they're following it up by making quality movies and getting them out there. So they've got the Mahal Brothers Empire. So you need to recognize,
man. When you throw Empire into a name, man,
that's right. You better put up.
Whoa, that's heavy.
Yep. So I'm excited to talk to them. I think they're going to bring a lot of great material to the table for us and all our filmmaker friends out there. Make sure you tune in next week.
That's right, because you're going to get educated next week.
That's right. We all is.
We all is. All right. With that being said, we'll see you next Wednesday.